Hello students, welcome to this class again, and this is a special class for the students who are appearing for the Neet exams, which is going to be held on 3rd of May. So children, I am talking about some important questions in cell, the chapter cell. So there are very simple questions which sometimes you ignore. So those questions I want to again highlight, like that of the very simple thing, that is the concept of omnis cellula e cellula regarding division was first proposed by some options will be there of scientists like Theodor Schwann, Schilling, Aristotle, Rudolf Virchow. So, which will be the right option? That is Rudolf Virchow. So, these things you have to remember, students. These are simple questions, but sometimes you forget, sometimes you ignore to revise, you miss to revise also. So, other questions, similar questions can be like this. The structures that help some bacteria to attach to rocks and or host tissues are, options are rhizoids, fimbriae, mesosomes, hold fast. So the right option is fimbriae. Right option is C, that is fimbriae. Okay? Which, like other questions can be from cell, which of the following components provides sticky character to the bacterial cell? Which of the following component provides sticky character to the bacterial cell? The options are A, cell wall, B, nuclear membrane, C, plasma membrane, and D, glycocalyx. So you must remember that glycocalyx is the component which provides sticky character to the bacterial cell, that is glycocalyx. Like this, there can be other questions also. Simple questions, okay, from eukaryotic cells, for example. From eukaryotic cells, the DNA present in chloroplast. The DNA present in chloroplast is, the options can be A, linear double-stranded, B, circular double-stranded, C, linear single-stranded, and D, circular single-stranded. So the right option here is circular double-stranded. So like this, you have to revise, you have to remember, you have to again go through these simple questions with their solutions, and you get very little time to solve all these questions, and biology fetching the maximum marks. So you have to be very careful about these small questions. Small but simple, small but very important. The Golgi complex participates in A, respiration in bacteria, B, formation of secretory vesicles, C, fatty acid breakdown, and D, activation of amino acids. Which will be the correct option? That is B, formation of secretory vesicles. Okay, this you have all studied number of times, but what happens is, when you get jumble of questions, many questions together, you start forgetting the answers. So it is just to go again and again, revise again and again all these important multiple choice questions. Which of the following is true for nucleolus? Which of the following is true for nucleolus? The options are A, it takes part in spindle formation, it is a membrane-bound structure. C, larger nuclei are present in dividing cells. And D, it is site for active ribosomal RNA synthesis. You think this will be the correct option? That is D. It is site, yes, it is the correct option. It is a site for active ribosomal RNA synthesis. Nucleus is a center for RNA synthesis. This you have to remember. Okay. Like this, in other aspects of cell also, you have to remember the microtubules. For example, microtubules are the constituents of A, spindle fibers, centrioles and cilia, B, centrioles, spindle fibers and chromatin, C, centrosome, nucleosome and centrioles, and D, cilia, flagella and perioxysomes. So which can be the correct option? That is the A, spindle fibers, centrioles and cilia. Microtubules are the constituents of where these microtubules are found, in the spindle fibers, in the centrioles and in cilia. Okay. A major site for synthesis of lipid is, which is a major site for synthesis of lipid? A is RER, that is rough endoplasmic reticulum. B is SCR, that is smooth endoplasmic reticulum. And C is symplast and D is nucleoplasm. So you have studied it number of times, you know also perhaps, that is the option is B, smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Lipid is synthesized in SCR and protein is synthesized in RER, rough endoplasmic reticulum. Okay? Which of the following type of plastids does not contain stored food material? Plastids, some plastids have been given. You have to choose the plastid which does not contain stored food. That is A, amyloplast, B, chromoplast, C, helioplast, and D, aleuroplast. So naturally chromoplasts are containing coloring pigments like carotenes, xanthophyll, etc. So they are not containing stored food. This is clear, so the option will be chromoplast. Okay, like this, important questions are there which you have to revise and remember. Plasmodata there are some options. What are plasmodesmata? They are A, lignified cemented layers between cells, B, locomotory structures, C, membranes connecting the nucleus with plasma lemma, D, connections between adjacent cells. So plasmodesmata are the connections between adjacent cells. So this will be the right option, D. Vacuole in a plant cell. Options are is membrane bound and contains storage proteins and lipids. B is membrane bound and contains water and excretory substances. C lacks membrane and contains air. And D lacks membrane and contains water and excretory substance. So you all know the vacuole contains or is membrane bound. That membrane is called tonoplast. You must be remembering. And it contains water and excretory substances. So this option B will be the right option. Is membrane bound and contains water and excretory substances. These are very important questions, children. That is why I am repeating them, I am revising them. Though these are all there in the chapters that we have discussed earlier in my earlier videos. But just before the exams, you have to go through this as revision. Okay? Now, all the organelles are having membranes, most of them. But there are some organisms which don't have membrane, which are not membrane bound. Like an outer covering membrane is absent over, there are some options. A is nucleolus, B is lysosome, C is mitochondria, and D is plastids. So where these membranes are not there, nucleolus does not have any membrane, outer membrane. Nucleolus, this you have to remember. Okay. Mitochondrial cristae are sites of A. breakdown of mitochondria, B. protein synthesis, C. phosphorylation of flavoproteins, and D. oxidation reduction reactions. So mitochondrial in the cristae, what exactly happens? That is oxidation reactions. These reactions take place in mitochondrial cristae. So this is the right option. Oxidation reduction reactions. Golgi apparatus is absent in which part or organelle or organism? A. higher plants, B. yeast, C. bacteria and blue-green algae, D. none of the above. Actually, they are absent in bacteria and blue-green algae. They are prokaryotes, so membrane-bound organelles are not there. Golgi apparatus is also not there. So option is bacteria and blue-green algae. So students, always remember that most of the things you are knowing, the questions will come not from anything outside your syllabus. Outside of your syllabus, it will all be from the syllabus only, from the chapters only. You have to apply your mind, apply your knowledge or your remembrance at that particular time, and who does this in the best possible way always clears the exams. So you have to remember one thing, that don't get scared or don't be nervous. Just think, you know that you have studied a lot, you are knowing many things, you are knowing lot of things, and all from the chapters that are there in the syllabus. So just try to remember, give some thinking, and you will be able to pick the right answer. So with this, I end my short video, and I just to help you, if it is possible, to all the aspirants of NEET exams. Thank you. Wish you the very best. God bless you all.